and welcome to this album on Islington Radio with me, William Hann. It's the podcast where each episode, a guest and I will deep dive an album of their choice. And it could be any artist, it could be any genre, it could be any year. And we are going to discuss the songs, we're going to discuss the shows, we are going to discuss the artwork. But what I really want to know is where my guests first heard the album of choice and the emotional attachment that they have to the record. Who knows? We might even have a bit of a laugh while doing it. Well, today, I'm joined by a man that's done more for the city of Birmingham than Peaky Blinders, Ozzie Osbourne and Jude Bellingham combined. Because today's guest is a man that for 13 years has given the world dreamy, hazy, escapist indie. Is that more important than overhead kicks in the dying moments of England games, bat decapitation, or committing crime while wearing a flat cap? Well, yes it is, because he's made me believe that one good podcast and I could change the world. And now he's hot on the marketing campaign of fifth album, Hum, from Swim Deep. It's Ozzie Williams.
Hello.
How are you, brother?
Quite the intro.
Quite the intro?
And what a radio voice you've got, by the way.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. It wasn't like that when we just met 2 minutes ago.
I can turn it on. I can turn it off.
Well, clearly, yeah. Well, I could see it going that way, but cheers, by the way.
To us.
To us.
To us. And
Thank
this
you.
beautiful courtyard we find ourselves in. Shall we set the scene for the audio-only listeners, Ozzie?
I can smell a barbecue.
You can smell barbecue.
I'm sensing maybe Romanians or Poles, possibly.
Sausage people. Some of the best sausages in the business.
I don't know if you say that, but so, yeah, we'll go sausages. Yeah,
We're going sausages.
You know what I mean? A bit of smoke.
There's magic in the air, basically.
Yeah.
This is the kind of day we've been dreaming about for quite some time.
Yeah, it's a lovely day.
So, barbecues aside, how is life treating you, Ozzie?
It's good. I was saying to you earlier, I'm a bit, I'm spinning a bit. I haven't slept. I haven't slept in 2 years, but I've got a baby coming in 2 weeks.
Massive. Congratulations.
And thank you. So my wife, understandably, is very knackered and quite big.
Sure. But she's let you come out to play this evening.
Yeah, well, she's gone to the pub actually, so
Actually.
you know, I don't know who's got
Pair
it
of
better.
legends.
I think we both got it great, so yeah. It's going well though. I was listening to this record that we're about to speak about on the way, and I haven't heard it in a while, so it was really nice.
Much to get into.
Really nice chance.
But before we get into that, for those that are uninitiated, who are you? What do you do? Who are Swim Deep?
Christ, a lot of different things over the years, I guess, to a lot of different people. We started in Birmingham.
What a city.
Yeah, great city. Love that city. I was born in Worcester, but I moved to Birmingham when I was about 15 with my mom. She wanted a new life, so she chose Birmingham. I persuaded her. I was trying to get her to go to LA, but something about visas. And so we went to Birmingham, and it does actually also have a Hollywood in Birmingham. So we went there, and I met some great people, and we spoke about music, and we spoke about getting out, and we spoke about being copying the Beach Fossils, our favourite band.
What a band.
Yeah, and we did it, I guess.
Did the thing.
In some ways.
Yeah, you put your guitars where your mouths were.
Yeah. And then, we from there, we just released a load of records. Some people might not know that. Some people might know that. There was a guy, I work in a pub, Compton Arms, and now and then someone will come up and say, "Oh, you're in Swim Deep," or they'll say, "Oh, you were in Swim Deep," and it's a real hard one to take because I still am. Do you know what I mean? We're still putting out records, but understandably, some people only know us for the more mainstream records, the ones that kind of went more commercial, and so yeah. And he was like, "Do you ever consider doing music again?" kind of thing. I was like, "Fuck." Are we allowed to swear?
Oh yeah.
I was like, "Fuck." That's all I've been doing for the past, do you know what I mean, 13 years. And obviously, you know, financially it's not necessarily working out because I'm working at a pub. But in terms of the drive that I have to make music, it's never waned, you know. It's never it's never changed. The goals are always the same. The dreams are always the same. So yeah, I'm just that's what Swim Deep is, I guess. Just following the dream.
Dream on. Let's go.
Sometimes dreaming, always following.
Don't just dream in your sleep though, Ozzie. That's very, very lazy of you. Yeah, you go. A little Swim Deep reference for you there. All right. I'm getting a measure of the man. I'm interested though. You mentioned about going to Birmingham and sort of finding your tribe and stuff. But did you have like a musical coming of age before that when you were still in Worcester? Yeah,
definitely. I think in school we got that first lesson with the keyboards. I don't know if you remember. You had that same
DJ.
thing. Exactly. And I think Klaxons had just come out with that song Golden Scans. And they had they were using that keyboard, so we were all obsessed with that, and that kind of just opened up our minds to that. I'm not sure, maybe that was later down the line, maybe I got that confused, but either way.
You can have numerous coming of ages though.
Yes,
your new
true,
rave coming of age is still just
yeah.
as valid as the Oasis one 10 years previous.
I got into it then. My dad got me a piano.
That's your first instrument, was it?
It was actually a acoustic guitar from the car boot that
Classic.
my dad got me, but I'd more like drum on that. I didn't really, and then he got me this djembe drum. He's quite like he's a bit of a hippie, so it's like world instruments.
Right.
And I found rhythm, and I was just naturally taken to it, and that's really what excited me at first. But then the piano, and my dad said a speech at my wedding actually recently. I didn't know this, but he remembered it quite proudly, I think. But it was just something that I didn't remember, or that I thought was so normal that it didn't really, excite me. But he said that I used to sit next to the CD player, put on a CD, and then run to the piano in the other room, and then come back and listen to it again, then run to the piano. And he's like, how come you keep listening to it and then running to the piano and then listening back? And I said, well, first I'm listening to the bass, and then I'm going to work that out, and then I'm going to work the melody line out, and then I'm going to work the lead line out. And I think that was my way of working out songs so that then I could replicate that in my own songwriting. And I was never really interested in learning songs. A guitar teacher once said that I wasn't ready to learn music, I guess, or learn guitar, because I wouldn't like follow the instructions. I'd just be wanting to make my own thing. And that's true to this day, really. It doesn't excite me too much to play other music. It's much more exciting to create it, even if it's, not as good. It's that feeling that I think I crave for expression. It's one that if I have a drought of, I start to feel a bit not well.
Which instrument do you feel the most comfortable with?
Piano. Recently guitar though, but largely piano. I find it easier to just quickly to be able to get that satisfaction of putting chords or melody down. Guitar, I find it a bit more influenced by the guitar as a cultural reference or giant. It's quite, the guitar is the guitar, it's the acoustic guitar, or it's the electric guitar, and either one has such a weight. Whereas the piano, I feel like you could blur the lines a bit easier.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you could be playing something classical, right? I could be playing something that sounded like Bach or something, but obviously not to the standard. Whereas a guitar, I feel like whatever I play sounds like Nirvana. Do you know what I mean?
I've got to be honest with you, not much of your work does, but it's an internal thing.
It's a chord thing. I wish it did, but it's a chord thing.
I think Nirvana sort of like had the blueprint on power chords, apparently. Is that
exactly? Yeah, exactly. I'm quite lazy in that way. That I've only recently started to get into modes and fifths and sevenths and inversions and stuff like that. That makes it really expands everything into a much bigger musical landscape. Something Paul McCartney and Beach Boys and.
Oh, he loves the seventh, doesn't he?
The
B seventh. God,
the dominant fifth.
The fourth chord. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. You've got a new album out soon.
Yes, soon.
I've listened to it 2.5 times so far. I got sent it yesterday.
Oh, well played.
Congratulations, man. It is really, really fucking good.
You think so?
Honest to God, I think it's a huge, huge leap. I did an Instagram post about it a couple of months ago, that first lead single, which I've forgotten the name of.
Piece of You.
It sounds fucking stratospheric.
Oh,
the guitars on that genuinely sound like they could fill arenas, and I do genuinely mean that.
Well, that's the plan.
It's very different sonically to what you've done before, and I'd like to know more about everything about the album, really, Ozzie. So, yeah, tell me it all.
Yeah, the first one definitely is the biggest guitar song on the record.
Yeah.
That was made after a lot of listening to Mogwai.
Oh, really?
Weirdly enough.
I don't know much about Mogwai. I know it's loud guitars. I don't know much more than that.
Yeah, well,
Scottish,
yeah. It's not that. It's incredible, and they've got some incredible albums. They're really good at soundtracking things,
right.
And they get commissioned to soundtrack a lot of shows. Is it like Line of Duty? There's loads of shows that are. Might get that wrong, but there's loads of really good shows. A lot of like BBC dramas.
Right.
But anyway,
good work if you can get it right.
Yeah. Other than that, they just have an incredible way of experimenting. It always sounds like really amazing musicians just wigging out in a room, but it's got a real sensitivity to it that I'm drawn to. But I was kind of like playing around with that as an influence, but then it just turned into a Swim Deep song.
It sounds like the Verve to me. I hear a lot of like
Storm in Heaven is a big reference on that as well. The guitars, and working with someone like Bill as well, he kind of gets the best out of a guitar and the best out of us. Yeah.
Tell me more about working with Bill. What's the process like? So it's Bill Ryder Jones, we should say.
Bill Ryder Jones. Put some respect on the name.
I put it out there eventually.
It's fun. It's very animated. It's very inspiring. He's truly one of the greats. I don't say that lightly. I think he's really he's such a great artist to kind of like sit with and just talk to. But then when you're in the room showing him music and him giving you kind of feedback, lessons, teachings, mentorship on everything, it's a really great thing. It can be quite chaotic too, because he is above everything an artist. He's a great producer, but he's an artist, and he's got his own things going on, so I think there was something he said in the press the other day that made me really laugh. It made me really cry as well, actually. But he said something like, it was like the last day of our recording that the Enemy had come to interview us and find out how it's going. It was like 2 days to go. I think we were all largely feeling, we only had 2 weeks. We haven't got a big budget. We're not on a major. We haven't got loads of time and money to make a record. We've got a limited time to do it. And we realised that, and that pressure seeps into the record. I remember them asking him, we were at a bowling alley and we were all drunk. And like, he, of course, was the most drunk. And he was like, maybe it was even in the morning, but he was like, yeah, it's not finished. We've still got a lot of work to do. Like, I feel like there's a lot better to come out of them, kind of thing. And I was like, that was on the last day, man.
We gave it our all, Bill.
I thought it was finished. I thought maybe we had some things to do, maybe like a couple guitar overdubs and stuff. But I think that's also the belief that he has. Like, that's how I actually read it. Like, it is funny, but I actually read it as he wants more time. He wants more time, and so do I. And he thinks that I think, as we all do, as most artists do, you always think you can do better, so you have to put a cork in it at some point. Otherwise, it will just never it will never come out, and it will never be true as well. It will just it will be something that
you need to capture a moment.
You need to capture the moment, and like warts and all, I guess. But in this industry, it's so fucking hard to do that, because you just don't have. You have to be really consistent with it. You have to be constantly releasing stuff. Don't get me wrong. I don't want 5 years away from what. Like, I'm still going to be making music, but.
Searching for the perfect hi-hat sound.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Fuck that.
It's kind of it's the way of it. It's the magic of it, really. But I think there's a good balance. I'd like 4 weeks instead of 2 weeks, maybe.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure. Well, I think you've achieved a lot in that 2 weeks. I think it's probably your best album for a very long time. I'm really am fond of your second one. But this is some of your best work yet, I think, Ozzie. So huge well done to Team Swim Deep. What are you proudest of on the record? What's your favourite bit?
I'm actually proud of the collaboration between myself and our new guitarist, JJ.
Yeah, tell me more about JJ.
Well, he joined. I started working at this pub, and I met him through that. And I knew that he was in music. He knew that I was in music. And our guitarist Robbie quit just because couldn't afford to be in a band anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's expensive, and you're always losing. Except for those moments on stage, you know. And it takes its toll, I guess. Anyway, JJ joined, and he is a really good guitarist, but I didn't know he was also a really good writer. And he kind of presented me with a few songs, and I thought they were really amazing. And then he came up with Photograph, and it just blew me away. And it's the first time that I've actually collaborated everyone, you know, gets involved and stuff, but as a full songwriter has been in the band. It's the first time that's happened. And I think I'm really proud of that new step in that direction, because I think it's something new this band probably needed. You know, I've got one and another child coming, and
amazing.
The time where I can write is dwindling, I guess. So to have that support as well is so important. And also just I'm kind of proud of myself for being able to open myself up like that. Yeah. Because I've never been able to let anyone else in, really.
Well, I think it's amazing that, like, you're still doing it. I think you should be so proud of yourself for, like, despite life telling you otherwise, you've got no, swim deep forever. And I think the world's a far richer place for having to swim deep in it than not.
Thank you, man.
Well done, Ozzie.
Thank you.
Right then, I think it's about time we discussed an album that isn't yours. Why don't you let us know which album we are discussing today, please, Ozzie?
Yeah, McCartney II by John Lennon.
Oh, I've got different notes. Hang on. Oh, no, it's this guy. So, Paul McCartney is a left-handed vegetarian musician from Liverpool who is best known for his collaborative work with people as varied as Ringo Starr, John Lennon, George Harrison, Linda McCartney, and of course, Kanye West. But look, you don't need me to tell you, Paul McCartney is basically the best to ever do it, and quite possibly the greatest human being ever created. But, dear listener, what you may be unaware of is the groundbreaking experimentation of Paul's genre-defying fourth solo album, McCartney II, from 1980. It was an album that went to #1 in the UK album chart, and its influence can be felt amongst hordes of new wave and electronica artists that went on to dominate the 80s. But not just the 80s, it's been name-checked as an influence by a range of artists such as Hot Chip, LCD Sound System, Errol Alcam, New Young Pony Club, and even Throbbing Gristle. But don't let that put you off. They are a fucking shocking band. You need a temporary secretary? Well, I need a permanent podcast. On with the show. What an album, Ozzie. What an album.
Yeah, it's a really good album.
When did Macca enter your orbit? Was there life before McCartney?
Yeah, definitely. I didn't really... I like the Beatles hits,
sure,
you know, but I didn't really know about them. And they're just, you know, they're a presence, aren't they, in the world?
Omnipresent.
They're omnipresent. I first heard McCartney when my ex-manager, Mike Watson, we were driving in a car in Hollywood, not Birmingham, Hollywood.
The other one.
Los Angeles. And it was our first time there. And we were probably 20, 21. And
top of the world, right?
Top of the world. Honestly, top of the world. Didn't know it then, but now I know it. It was, you know, at the time, it was, you know, nerve-wracking. It went so fast. It was just different. We weren't playing great shows. We were playing great shows. We weren't playing that great. You know, it was all just a bit like hectic. But this day, definitely top of the world. Went to Amoeba Records, and our manager brought Ram by McCartney, his second album.
What an album.
I think his second?
I think it is.
I think so. I think because his first was like the kind of like lo-fi, bedroomy thing, and then he wanted to do something a bit. It got kind of panned, didn't it? He wanted to, Anyway, he did Ram, and we listened to that in the car, and we'd got given mushrooms by some fans. So we had, so previous night we had a gig, and it was on Sunset Strip, and it was on, there's a club there. It's a legendary club.
There's Whiskey A Go Go. There's the Viper Rooms.
possibly the Viper Rooms. Or is it? It's still going. It's still there.
I think it's still there.
Anyway, okay, it's one of those, and we were meant to play that. It was like a festival of bands playing. Right. Or was it a headline? It wasn't a headline. But anyway, about 3 hours before the show, they told us we can't play there anymore. They're moving the venue because the Rolling Stones want to play there.
Cunts.
Yeah, cunts, right? So they wanted to play there. So obviously, us shit munchers had to go to another place. They put us up in a church. So we played in a church in God knows where. And it was quite a fun venue, I guess. But it was weird. People just sat on the pews, so it wasn't like an atmosphere at all. And it was daylight. It was, you know what I mean? It was really weird. And it was a good gig, though. I think someone came up to me after and was like, "Yo, you're just like..." I can't do an American accent. They were like,
"Pretty good.
You're just like Ian Brown, man." And I was like, "Fuck off." I don't even know who Ian Brown is. At the time, I was I didn't know about Stone Roses like that. I did after, and they were like my favourite band. But yeah, anyway. Anyways, where was I? So
LA.
We played this gig. Oh yeah, and after the gig, these girls were like, "Do you want some mushrooms? And do you want to come and take them with us?" And we were like, "No, thank you." As in, like, we've all got girlfriends. We're kind of like, we're not really like your fans. It's kind of like, thank you, appreciate it, but can we have the mushrooms and we'll go and do them ourselves? So we took the mushrooms and we said, all right, let's take them tomorrow morning, because we're all jet lagged. So we woke up the next morning and we went to Amoeba Records, took the mushrooms, and we all had really incredible like trips in this record store. It's a really huge one. I think Higgy, our guitarist, he was like on the there's loads of records that he thought were conveyor belt like a supermarket thing. So he was like getting records and like all these memorabilia stuff they have, and putting it on. I've just remembered this, putting them on the records as it was a conveyor belt kind of thing. So expecting someone to like beep beep, and the funny sight really. I thought he was just looking at records, I was at the merch section, and it was just like, it was like this. All these plants were kind of like coming out the walls, and it felt very tropical. And each band I saw on the T-shirt was like a different. I had to say it, but like a different climate or something. It was very it's very hard to explain, but a very kind of unnerving, unpleasant experience. Right. It could have been nice, but I haven't got the brain for that kind of thing. I'm a bit anxious. So that happened. My manager noticed that we were all wigging out a bit, and it was getting a bit out of control. So we all went and we got in the car. He brought Ram on CD, put that in the car, and we drove to Malibu Beach, which is probably like a 30-minute drive. I don't know. It could have been 10 hours.
It's probably a bit longer than that, yeah. But
and yeah, it probably was like an hour or two. And we drove, we listened to this record, and I was kind of coming down, and it was such a nice feeling, such a nice feeling to be out of the woods, literally. And that's the first time I heard McCartney. So he soundtracked my kind of ascent out of this jungle-themed trip.
Paul McCartney grounds you back to reality.
Exactly.
What can't that man do?
Yeah. And then my manager actually brought me McCartney II for my birthday, not long after that. A few years after that. And that's the record that I really got hooked on.
Love it. Love it, love it. So you got hooked on it. What caught your attention about McCartney II?
It was really immersive, and it was... I had a record player at the time. We lived in this warehouse. I lived with a whole host of people, but I moved in with Theo, who's in a band, Wolf Alice, and I think Joff was staying there for a bit. Sasha from Splash. I don't know if you remember that band.
I listened to him just earlier, actually.
Really great band.
I Need It. What a tune.
Anyway, it was just a place that there's a bunch of musicians in it, so we were always sharing records and stuff, and that was one that I was always putting on to, and everyone was a bit like, fuck's sake, it's like,
again,
it's Macca, do you know what I mean? Like, it's old. But it was impressive because it had Coming Up, which is a huge hit.
I was going to get to this.
Okay.
I struggled to get much further on that album than Coming Up. It's such a great fucking really tune at track 1.
Yeah, apparently got John Lennon out of semi-retirement as
really?
well. Apparently he got really jealous when he heard that song.
Really? I didn't know this.
And started writing music again. I forgot what song or album it inspired, but it got him to write. I should have done my research.
Don't worry about that, mate.
Edit it. Can you edit it in?
Oh, big time.
Anyway, just put it there.
It inspired.
Yeah. So obviously that's a big hit. Temporary Secretary is what really got me excited.
Bananas, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So bananas. And to know that that was done in 1980, possibly, 79.
Would have been 79, yeah.
In
the Scottish Highlands.
Yeah, in the Scottish Highland, in isolation.
With a couple of toys.
I find it so incredible, that song. The things you can theorize about it, like techno, Detroit techno came 81, and that came from a whole scene of urban decay, and it was kind of, all that, the industrial, the auto, kind of like Ford factories were all closing down, and suddenly there was all this panic and everyone didn't know what was going to happen. So there's the collapse, but also futurism and what's going to happen. And so in a way, all that, all that kind of, all the tools to make that scene happen, that Detroit techno dance scene happen, were there when McCartney wrote this record, but he wrote it in a completely different way. And Temporary Secretary was, I'd like to believe, was an inspiration for those. But you got Georgia Moroder, who made I Feel Love in 77 or something, which is mind blowing because you listen to it and it's like, who the fuck was like making music like that in the 70s?
Well, it's that thing of like cornering the technology first, right? All this new technology was being created and people just using it in different ways. Yeah. With that in mind, I mean, I'm very fascinated by the technology use on this one. How much of a tech guy are you? Not
massively, but I love the Yamaha CS80 is a thing that he used a lot, and it's this huge, almost organ Hammond looking synthesizer, and it's like probably goes for like $7,000 at the moment. You've got a baby
on the way. I think we'll have to give that a miss for now.
I've got the plug-in.
The plug-in's better, right?
We used it a lot on our second album, Mothers, because of those records, and they have one in the church just down the road in Crouch End.
Oh, amazing.
In that church studio, and anyway, so yeah, which we recorded some of Mothers at. He uses that. He uses the circuits. It's the sequential circuits Prophet, which is, he would have used, I think, and used a sequencer on one of those synths to get the, because I don't think the 303 was out in 83. I think they invented the 303 and the 808. You know the 808, which is used on everything. Yeah. And the 303, which is used on a lot of Mothers and Acid House. The kind of like squelchy, yeah, the big two cultural movements in history. And so it was pre that, and it was pre MIDI. MIDI was MIDI was what, 80? I think it was like mid 80s. Yeah. Was it 86?
I could be wrong, but I'm
sure. Put it there. 80. It was, and so this is before MIDI, so you couldn't quantize, you couldn't do anything like that. You had to really, so all this, that's why it sounds so,
loose. Yeah.
But to have a song that sounds like techno and it be like that on purpose, because there was no, there was no quantizing. The
idea of any other way of doing it was unimaginable.
Well,
right?
I like to imagine he was probably trying to get it real dead on, actually, but just like not possible. And then all the tape that he used, that the Beatles used so much anyway, all the experimentation on tape and the warmth and the jitteriness that gives something is, I think, really tangible with human emotion. And I think that's why tape is so fucking good when it's used properly. Yeah. Same with vinyl, I guess. It's just like, it just feels a bit more real, doesn't it?
A lot more real. Shout out to Reality. I think one of the really sort of amazing things about that song is that Paul McCartney has taken what must be a really uninteresting requirement of needing someone to do a bit of admin, getting a temporary secretary, and turned it into an absolutely bonkers song.
Yeah, well,
that's what he does, right?
You could look at the whole like AI thing if you wanted to link it as well, maybe.
What's the link? Fill me in.
I don't know, man. Possibly that it's a kind of temporary solution of getting something to aid you like that, a secretary.
Really
I don't think that's his intention, but I'd like to link it if possible.
I'll take it. I don't mind it. What would be the perfect setting to listen to this album in, Ozzie? Where are we? Who are we with? Paint a picture.
I'd like to just I'd like that moment back in that very kind of like cozy, dark warehouse that always smelled like hash because my roommate Rowan was always smoking it, and just the record player, all the mechanics of that happening, hearing that, and then that.
What time of day is it?
I think it's like 7 p.m. in summer.
Nice.
Early summer. Late summer. I think early summer's a bit too optimistic. I think late summer you've got it all out the way, and it's you kind of a bit more morose. I think that's a great setting. I think I listened to this record at over a year or two where I was with someone and then I was heartbroken by someone. So I think it's soundtrack both sides. I'm gonna go pre-heartbreak. Yeah.
Amazing. Life before heartbreak. Simpler time.
Rubbish times. Am I right?
How would you describe the average Paul McCartney superfan?
God, I know a couple. Cav in the band, he's such a super fan. I think he likes... God, he's going to kill me, but I think he likes Lennon more.
You don't get many of them nowadays. I think...
Really? I think you do, man. I think
it's
like a controversial... It's like a... You like Lennon because it's like edgy and it's...
Well, that's what... I had that theory that like when everyone's about 19 and you want to be edgy, you go, yeah, John Lennon's actually the best one.
Yeah.
But then after watching recent documentaries... Everyone goes, oh, it was Paul the whole time.
Yeah, he kind of comes off a bit of a sad act, doesn't he? But I do think Paul McCartney also has his... I don't know, man. I don't know either of them. but
I feel like I do, but...
But I think... I don't know. I've always related a lot more to McCartney. I think I want that kind of... The joy that he seems to get from writing music. Whereas Lennon, I'm not sure if he gets joy from...
Anything.
Writing music. Yeah, Yoko maybe.
Joy from Yoko.
Joy and screams. I think, I don't know, man. I think McCartney's got a freedom to him that I aspire to.
What do you mean by that? Describe that in a bit more detail.
I guess wealth is a big one.
Oh, that'd be class.
But
money.
Let's get rid of the wealth. And I think he's just, I don't know, man. I don't think I'd like to smile that much when I perform because I just couldn't imagine doing that. I think it's so strange. Like smiling when you're performing just baffles me. I don't like judge it. I'd do it if I could, I guess. But anyways, I think he's really good at expressing himself, and I don't know. I think he found a certain peace in that along the way. I'd like to think anyway.
What a mad life that man has had.
I know. Well, this is it. Like going from, I think this album is his rebellion to that, or not, maybe not even rebellion, but his retirement from that. And it's truly like, I do think it's a perfect album in the way that he's made all these amazing records, like intergalactic export records, right? You'd send these to space and you then an ex-Beatle, and now you're McCartney, and you've kind of he's managed to separate the audience. He's managed to write an album as if there's not an audience, because I don't think any of these songs are serving the audience at all.
I love that.
Because who in 1980?
No one knew they needed that.
I guess it went number one, but I don't know, man. It's like no, I don't think anyone knew that. I think he needed that, and I think sometimes casting the audience aside it feels a bit selfish. But I think this is so important to remember sometimes, that you have got to kind of get rid of that, because that's why you made music in the first place, and you're not discounting your fans' loyalty by getting rid of them whilst you make a record. In fact, you're serving them even more, because that's probably why they liked you in the first place. They didn't exist in the first place, and you were making music. So I'd like to take some of that on board, I guess. But I find it it's kind of easy at the moment, because it doesn't really feel like we've got an audience a lot of the time. It does when we play live sometimes, you know, but a lot of the time, you know, with the way that social media is and stuff, honestly, like it feels like we're talking to a brick wall. So I quite like that freedom that gives me.
Yeah.
But then when you actually make the music and want to put it out, no one's there except you.
I'm there, Ozzie. I'm there. Don't you worry. I've got you. What emotions do you feel when you put this album on nowadays, Ozzie?
Okay, right. So I was listening to it for the first time on my bike ride here.
Not ever, we should say. First time.
No. Yeah, great
really weird.
Great album, man.
Don't know much about it, but yeah, it's good.
I definitely, I don't know. There's a. Is it nostalgia for a time that I haven't lived in, but also nostalgia for a time that I have lived in. But it's not really one of those. It's not necessarily a nostalgic album for me, but I have a comfort to it because I've lived with it, and it does bring me comfort. But what it made me think today was how interesting it is that when I heard it for the first time in 2014-15, it inspired Mothers, our second album, which is very synthy, very inspired by Temporary Secretary and the freedom of that, and the kind of left fieldness of that. But then when I'm listening to other songs on there, I'm like, that's interesting that I completely bypassed that song. Like the more rock and roll-y songs.
It's the third track on the album. I don't know what it's called now. It's got a big old riff on it.
There's the one that's I'm on my way. Yeah. All those songs, it's very like, you can tell it's kind of his childhood influences maybe. And it's very jammy and stuff, even though he's jamming with himself, you know. I can't quite believe he makes it sound that sexy with himself.
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
Because that particular song, it does sound like a band.
Sounds like everyone's looking at each other in the eyes and like fucking each other. Do you know what I mean? But like in a musician's way, we don't actually do that. But it's anyway, I find it interesting that I completely discounted that. But when I listen to it today, I listen to those tracks more, and I think that was. It proves to me how much of a great record it must be to me, and I guess just in general anyway, because if it's lasted that long. Same with Beach Fossils, like I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, what an album, what a band.
The recent album Bonnie, sorry, sidetrack, but
absolutely massive.
I was like, doesn't sound like, it sounds like Beach Fossils quintessentially, but it's come such a long way.
It's come such a long way.
I wouldn't have liked, if they put Bunny out first, I probably would have like, this is good. It sounds more like produced and stuff, but it wouldn't have given me that excitement that I needed when I was a kid. But this, I'm like a bit more settled, I guess, in some ways. So when I hear it, and I can appreciate the production and why they've kind of had that journey to wanting to make a really like nice sounding, expensive sounding record, you know, that still has a bit of like heart in it. Anyway. It's not McCartney II, but it's Bonnie.
By one of the greats.
Yeah.
Have you ever cried listening to McCartney II?
I can't say I have. I don't think.
Are you a crier?
I am, but like big moments have to hit me for crying. I think since I've had a daughter, since I've had a child, I cry at movies quite a lot. I think I had one of the largest cries of my entire life in lockdown when I watched all the Fast and Furious franchise.
Now we're getting somewhere.
And
tell me everything about this, please.
I watched it all in about 2 or 3 days. And when it got to 7, I was a big fan of Fast and Furious when I was younger anyway. I had like a boy racer car. I had a Fiat Punto. Yeah. It was like blacked out. I didn't do any of it. I bought it off someone that had done all the work. Bought it for £200. It lasted about a summer. I had to open the bonnet up after about 2 miles and pour bottles of water on it to cool it down. And it had a subwoofer in the back. And I used to drive.
What was you blasting on the subwoofer?
I'm so contrary. And such a, I don't know, like I'm not proud of this, how like that contrarianism, but I used to just listen to like classical music because I used to think it was really cool driving like a boy racer car with a sub playing classical music. And I just thought that would make me seem really like interesting, I guess.
How'd that work out?
I don't know. I don't know, man.
I think it's made for good conversation on the podcast. So you played the long game there, Ozzie.
Crying. Oh yeah, and then so when Paul, what's his fucking name?
The one that died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his real name?
Paul Walker.
Paul Walker and Vin Diesel. So he dies halfway through this film in a car accident in real life, and so when they don't kill him off in the film, but they just make them say bye to each other, and they both drive in this fork in the road, and they go off. Fuck me, I'm feeling it now. It's so ridiculous. I want to get to the bottom of why I'm crying at that, because it's so fucking stupid. It's just a film, but I was so drawn to that brotherhood anyway. God, it's so embarrassing that I'm talking about this.
I love it.
That was one of the biggest cries I've had. But I cry at life moments, like, getting my heart broken.
Yeah.
Family members dying.
Sure.
But music, I don't know, man. I can't say I've ever completely wept to a song. I've shed a tear to a song, for sure. But I can't think of any big moments. But not McCartney. I think he's too nice with his melodies.
Too nice. You never found yourself crying during the refrain of Hey Jude, watching it on the telly at Glastonbury and seeing all those people go for it?
No, man. That's probably that would be more embarrassing than the Fast and Furious franchise story.
Well, consider me fucking embarrassed then.
Oh, bless you.
Have you ever seen Paul McCartney live before?
Shit, have I? Did I watch him at Glastonbury? Did I cry?
That was you. It was you.
When did he play Glastonbury?
That would have been after lockdown, wouldn't it? Is that right? Can Ned fact check in the back there?
Have you not got one of those like guys that like Joe Rogan has?
I've got a guy. I've got a Ned. 2022. There you go.
Nah, probably.
First one after lockdown.
I really need to figure out if I've done that.
I was there.
Who else played that year?
Oh, God, you and your tough questions.
Was he on Sunday? Was he on Sunday?
No, he was on the Saturday, and it was what's his name? The rapper Kendrick Lamar, and Billie Eilish on the Friday. I watched Foles though. Foles played the other stage.
I didn't go to that one. I went 23.
Unforgettable, right?
I didn't go.
Kind of a joke, yeah.
So yeah, forgettable.
So you haven't seen Paul McCartney live?
No.
Ever seen the Beatles live?
Yeah, loads.
How often do you revisit this album, and how well do you think this album has aged?
I talk about it a lot more than I listen to it.
Really? Yeah, great.
I think it's aged well. I think it still sounds like a... Well, it's interesting that it sounds like bedroom pop, and I think he pioneered bedroom pop.
Yeah.
In this record, because he did everything himself. He was reclusive, and yeah, he had really good equipment, but I think he dialed it down quite a lot. And I think that kind of yearn for the lo-fi and the intricacies on hearing things is more ripe now than ever. And I think that comes from the yearn of like ambient living again. It's so rare that we're away from technology.
Yeah. And
I think that boredom has become a luxury that we actually, pay good money for now. I think you go into these like, I don't know, just getting rid of your phone. It's hard to get rid of your phone, isn't it? You actually have to really think about it if you want to go somewhere without a phone. You're so tied to it so many ways. But really, I think about when I grew up and I just wasn't tied to it and everything was fine. It's not that everything would fall apart if you didn't have it. It's just you think it would, which I think is the biggest mind fuck that they've done to us. But anyway, so that yearn for that feeling, I think, is really present on this album. I think he wanted that. I think he wanted to get rid of his kind of version of all that technology and all those people. And there was no one saying no to him on this record, I guess, except himself, which is often like the biggest no man you could meet is yourself when it comes to creating and stuff. So I think it's really special when someone can be free of that. It took him a lot to get there, and it was made, I guess, at the perfect time that he needed to make it. And it seemed like he had a really supportive wife. Linda just seems so crucial to everything. Yeah. And I think often partners of artists or musicians don't get the credit they deserve, because I think without their sacrifice, my wife for one, without her sacrifice, it's not like she's like chained at home whilst I go out and tour and stuff, but she makes it so I feel supported in going to do something that isn't financially stable, and I think that's so underrated. And I think Linda was probably quite good in that, grounding him, and probably looking after the kids quite a lot, which is
Amazing. What a woman. Shout out to Linda.
Yeah.
But it's starting to change a bit. I'm thinking about James Blake. He's been quite vocal about how Jamila Jamil, his partner, has been so important to his creative process.
Yeah.
I think it's really good to see. Like,
I think he credits her, doesn't he, on writing and producer credits and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I think he's quite a solitary musician as well, right, for the most part. So having that person at the end of a working day, what do you make of this bit?
Exactly, yeah.
It's crucial.
Well, because I think when you think about it, I think people can criticize that, but I think actually when you think about it, if you go into a studio with a producer or a songwriter, there's usually like a written or unwritten kind of thing that whatever comes out of that studio is going 50-50 or however many people are in there, which is weird because if you wrote a song with someone and they were just sat there, you wouldn't be like, oh, well, you got splits on that, haven't you? Definitely, because you're the here. So even though you didn't do anything, but I think when you're actively doing that, you know, it makes sense. But so I kind of rate that decision. I think it's also, it feels quite family first, you know?
Yeah.
He's going to get money for this, then she's going to get money for that. And if they break up, then she's still going to get money for that.
Sorted for years to come.
Exactly. I think that's really respectful. And so yeah, I quite like that when I saw it. I you know, for
you dig it. Shout out to partners, man. But we're not out of the woods yet. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna play a little game of fair play, guys, or not those guys. I've pulled Radio X's top 20 albums of 1980. And we are going to see which of these albums are deserving to be of their place and which of them are shit compared to McCartney II. So where do you think McCartney II charted in Radio X's best albums of 1980?
Oh God, there's a lot of albums.
There's a lot of albums.
I do feel like Radio X definitely like love McCartney.
Are they pro-Macca or are they not?
I'm trying to think of other... What are we going, like 1 to 100 or something?
We're doing 20. We're not maniacs.
Oh, they've done 20. I'm just settling in. 20. Okay, all right. I reckon they're going to do something like fucking UB40 or something on there. I reckon 3.
I've got news for you. I could add a bit of Jeopardy, but I'm going to be honest with you. They're not even on the top 20 albums of 1980. Should we find out which of these fuckers is apparently better than McCartney?
God, I should have said not on it, you know.
Well, in hindsight, obviously.
Of course it's not on it.
Of course not. So let's go through this. Right, at 20, we have one of the great albums, to be fair. At 20, it's Talking Heads with Remain in Light. Fair play, guys, or not those guys?
Yeah, fair play.
Obviously. At 19, Killing Joke with the self-titled Killing Joke.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, I don't know much about Killing Joke. Yeah. Pretty good. Mm-hmm. Fair play. At 18, The Police with Zenyatta Mandata.
Well, I don't know the album or Police really. I like the what's that Red Wine song? No, that's UB40.
That's UB40.
What's the Police song?
Walking on the Moon.
No, there's Roxanne.
Red Lights.
We used to play a game where you had to drink red wine every time you heard that. Anyway,
simpler times.
Excuse me.
Fuck the Police.
NWA.
At 17, Madness with Absolutely.
I like what Madness stands for, and I love Madness, but I'm not a fan of Ska, really.
Do you know what? I completely agree with that.
It definitely has its moments.
Yeah, I think that's fair. At 14, Susie and the Banshees with Kaleidoscope. Fair play or not those guys?
I don't know enough. I'm going to say fair play.
Yeah, they're pretty class. Yeah. I listened to it for the first time about a year ago. Sort of done some work there. Filled in the few blanks in the musical knowledge.
She's unreal.
She's a fucking icon. At 12, Echo and the Bunnymen, Crocodiles.
Yeah, they also had an album called Killing Joke, didn't they?
Did they? Oh, Killing Moon, isn't it?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Hang on. What album by Echo and the Bunnymen?
Crocodiles,
which was recorded in ICP, I think, where we recorded 4 of our 5 albums.
Come on! All right, it's all coming together. Is it any good though?
Yeah, of course
it is. It's called at the ICP. At 11, Joy Division, Closer.
Yeah, great.
What?
Great. That's only 11?
Fucking Radio X. Chris Moyles has got blood on his hands here. At 10, Dexy's Midnight Runners with Searching for the Young Soul Rebels. Shout out to Dexy's. At 9, The Human League with Travelogue.
Yeah, decent.
Don't know much about Human League. At 8, Devo with Freedom of Choice.
I wouldn't have put that 6. Well, it's 6.
8.
Oh, 8. Yeah, fair.
Fair play. It's better than 6, isn't it?
About
At
right then.
7, magazine with the correct use of soap.
I like do you know what singles that has on it?
I don't know anything
I
about
like magazine, but I only know like 3 tracks, so I'm gonna hope that they're on that album. So fair play.
Fair play. At 6, The Cure with 17 seconds.
I don't know album names, man.
No, I don't know that
But
Cure
like,
album.
that must have some good songs on it.
It's The Cure. It's going to have some good
what,
songs.
What in the 80s? Was it early 80s?
1980.
Oh, these are all from 1980.
All from 1980. The
Not
same
the
year as
80s.
McCartney II.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, makes sense. Then
It's like I thought about it, isn't it,
Yeah,
Ozzie?
definitely probably quite gothy, isn't it?
Yeah, a
back
bit
then?
of gothic. Go on, we'll take that. At 5, The Psychedelic Furs with the self-titled
Oh, yeah.
Psychedelic Furs.
I really like the Psychedelic Furs. They inspired the second album quite heavily, actually.
Well, shout out to Psychedelic Furs then. What an album.
I think they inspired Stone Roses quite heavily as well.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think so. That kind of like London, that kind of didn't sound like Ian Brown.
Ian Brown's in the room right now. God, the American was right the whole time.
They always do those kind of trills with the vocals.
Shout out to Psychedelic Furs.
Mm-hmm.
At 4, The Ramones with End of the Century. Not an album I'm familiar with, actually, Ramones.
If it was 1980.
1980.
Yeah.
You'd imagine diminishing results at that point. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, was it even the Ramones?
Was it even the Ramones? Fuck those guys then. At 3, OMD, Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark.
This self-titled. I really like that album.
Good album. Fair play, guys. At 2, Elvis Costello and the Attractions. Get happy.
Interesting.
I thought so.
I like his vibe, but how is that 2? I guess he's a legend, isn't he?
He is a bit of a legend.
I found a photo with my wife's dad with him actually the other day. He seems like someone that's just it was such a stunning find because I just thought that he wasn't like accessible in that way. You know when Elvis Costello, do you know what I mean? It's like a caricature.
Yeah.
I didn't actually think he was about.
Yeah.
Especially not in London.
He's a guy. He's just a guy. Fair play?
Yeah, fair play.
Of course, obviously. At number, we're getting a pigeon situation here, but it's okay. At number 1, 1980. It's the Pretenders with the self-titled Pretenders.
Fair enough. I do like the Pretenders.
Yeah, they're pretty good, aren't they? Pretty good.
It's like very, it's very movie-esque. It's a good vibe.
I can get into
Makes
that.
me feel like I'm in New York or something. Old yellow taxi.
I can get into that.
Yeah, snow's falling.
We're painting a picture here.
Yeah,
I like it. Fair play, the Pretenders. Best album of the 1980, I should say. Yeah. All right.
they're all great. Fair play to them.
Great. Fair play to everyone making music in 1980 or any year ever. Ozzie, this was fun, man. Thanks for doing this,
man.
brother.
Really liked it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The floor is yours to plug, promote anything that's coming up or happening in your world.
All right. We've got an album coming out. We've
Very
got
good album.
an in-store tour doing a lot of record stores in June. It's like the 20th week, which is 4 weeks after I'm having a baby. So expect the unexpected.
Anything could happen.
And then we're going on tour in September. We've just released a song called Mud, which I think is a really good song.
Banger.
I think it's like it's a great single. Anyways, I think that's it. Come and see us live, though. I'd love that.
That'll do it. Get out the house. Come to the show.
Yeah.
Ozzie will show you a good time. And I'll probably be there. Come and say hello.
Yeah, man, you will.
I've been William Hann. He's been Austin from Swim Deep. He was Paul McCartney. And this has been this album on Islington Radio.
Thank you.
Nice one, Oz. Cheers, brother.
Thank you, mate. That's very good.
My pleasure.
Very professional.
Do you reckon?
Oh, great.
Don't know that for you. You caught me on an uncharacteristically good day.